styles of service at a wedding. And I like to talk to my clients about this early too. Like sometimes maybe they have a caterer, but they still haven't decided if they're going to do family style or buffet or whatever. And from a coordinator perspective, I think about, again, logistics and timing a lot too. Like a buffet is probably going to be faster than a plated 3-course meal. So if you're really trying to maximize on dancing time and you don't have that much time, like that might be a better option for you. Or, you know, people have like preconceived notions about buffets being not as nice or, you know, kind of whatever. But do you have opinions on like styles of service and how it plays into like the overall experience?
I think it again goes into like as a couple, what are your values? Is it the DJ or is it the food?
Yeah.
You know, and if it's the food, I think make that like a memorable moment.
Yeah.
I personally am a really big fan of family style because when two families and two groups of friends are coming together, any opportunity for them to like get to meet each other and pass something along the table is like approachable. People come together over a meal.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of that, but I also think like there's nothing wrong with a good buffet.
No.
Like it depends like how much do your friends and family drink?
Yeah.
Because if they're doing a champagne toast, you better invest in some sort of past app that's a carb.
Yeah.
Because you don't want like you don't want people drunk at 4 p.m. Like if you're like, oh no, we'll
It's
just
a
do
long
the
night,
toast.
baby.
It's like
This is a marathon, not a sprint.
yeah,
We
like you need
you.
the alcohol and the food need to talk. Like
They need to be on the same page.
yeah, so that's and also I think like knowing like what your values are. So like, are you a traditional couple and you're like, hell yeah, we want that cutting the cake moment.
Yeah.
Or are you like, we've done something like we worked one of our first weddings in LA. It was a couple that was Chinese, Jewish, and Hawaiian.
Dang.
Love it.
They were so cool. They cared so much about the meal and it really spoke to them. Like we did like a latke with like a chili jam.
Oh, wow.
And we did like a poke wonton. They were awesome. But then for dessert, they were like, we have this like memory of getting these like Trader Joe's cupcakes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, do it.
Go
like,
for it.
yeah, just do it. Like, know what you care about. Like, do you
yeah.
want a cake cutting moment or do you want just a dessert bar? Do you want a friend to go pick up like that Susie cake? So,
Yeah,
you know.
on Saturday we just had a shit ton of Krispy Kremes, and these people
That's
paid
great.
$1 zillion on venue catering and everything, and we just had like, you know, I was gonna say $40. It was, well, I'm sure more than that, but it was just
Yes.
regular
That's great.
old boxes of Krispy Kremes. Yeah, that's all that they cared about.
That's great.
awesome.
I think knowing what you care about and what moments you care is really important.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really like, I mean, seated coursed, this is definitely just my opinion. Plenty of people do it and it's really popular. I find it to be stuffy.
I agree.
And like, as someone who knows how the food works, like, you can only do so much with like a steak and a chicken and having it be the same internal temperature and served at the same time. It doesn't allow you to get creative to serve 100 people at the same time.
No.
It's very boring.
Yes. Well, and it's very hard to serve 150 people a steak at the same time, at the same temperature, and have it be good, which is why wedding food has gotten kind of a bad rap in general, right? Of like dry chicken and like shitty whatever. It's like, because it's actually really fucking hard to do that.
It's so hard. And that's why, same thing as like your values with the whole wedding. I think with food, it's like, okay, obviously there's going to be the creativity, there's going to be the service, there's going to be the personality of the chef.
Yeah.
What do you care the most about? If you care the most about the service and the food, you want it to be obviously good, but that's like, I have a different chef vibe for you.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh, I want the most baller food.
Yeah.
Like then that we go that route. I think there's like, you know, it's almost like I think
like
of it as
a
a rubric of how you grade.
Yeah.
And if it's like presentation, value, taste,
yeah.
it's like which one on the rubric do you want to be?
Yeah.
focusing
The
on?
expectation should be different for whatever the type of experience
Exactly.
that you want.
Yeah. It's like building
for
a
sure.
brand. It's like know what you want to build and then put the pieces in more than like everyone is going to give you a million options. Like we're one thing that talks about one thing, but then there's another company that's like, we do seated California classic food.
Yeah.
And it's like, if that's what you want, go that way.
Yeah, then that's okay too. I like that. I think that's important to think of when you're first kind of designing and planning your wedding in your head too, right? Like thinking of it like a business or a brand. Of like, what do we want to represent us?
Yeah, it's almost like sometimes they're like, you know, you're probably in that chamber. Everyone's either been like, I've been married before. So it's like you can get almost too much advice. And it's probably good to get advice once you have your blinders on and know what you want advice on.
Yeah. How have you noticed the difference in just like trends and markets between New Orleans and New Orleans. I was just there and they make fun of you if you say New Orleans.
No, New Orleans.
Like if you say New Orleans, they make fun. They're like, you're clearly not a local. New Orleans.
Not
And LA say, and like just trends in general of what you're seeing in the catering world?
I would say overall, like a focus on veggie forward food is like, I think here to stay. I think like once people are like, oh, damn, you can do that with an asparagus. Like, like that's exciting. So I think stations are just like really exciting and cool.
Can you specify?
Yeah, to be able to like have a dumpling bar and a taco bar and then like a little
oysters
pasta.
and tacos.
Oysters and tacos.
I can do both.
Yeah. Like having like a roam around fun vibe where everyone's like, ooh, like food is an experience.
Yeah.
I think that's something that's here to stay. And then I think both with New Orleans and California, like destination weddings.
Yeah.
I think a lot of our clients don't actually live in New Orleans.
Right.
I would say probably like 70%.
Oh, that's
But they
interesting.
want the New Orleans food.
Yeah.
And then I actually think LA people seem to be local and they're really like, I want the California story told, which like is diverse.
Yeah.
It's very multicultural. I mean, everyone that we're working with in LA that I can think of has a really cool family story that they want at their wedding. Like every couple is like my family. We're working with someone who's from Kazakhstan and Argentina.
Yeah, dang.
Yeah, isn't that the coolest
I
thing?
love it.
That's a cool vibe right there.
I love it.
With my bar business too, that's like my favorite thing. I mean, obviously with planning, you learn a lot about people's different family and history, but like being, whatever we want to serve really directly representing and having that be like super important to them. Like
I
that
love
is
it.
very high on the list that we have this specific mezcal
I
or
love it.
whatever. Yeah.
And you want, like, I think this is, I don't know if I would call it a trend, but just the world is changing and we're all a little bit more in touch with ourselves. But having the people that are at your wedding that you're paying represent you.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're a black couple, you want a black chef.
Yeah.
Like, that makes sense. Or, like, if you're someone who is, like, Jewish and keeps Shabbat and it's going to start late on Saturday night or be a Sunday wedding, I think you want a Jewish caterer that's going to be able to, like, understand your limitations.
Yeah, literally on Sunday I coordinated a wedding and they were a queer couple and they hired all queer vendors
Yeah.
and it was like such a cool thing and they even like did like a shout out in the wedding like we want to like make sure that you know that because your dollars are your power, right?
Yeah.
And so I mean that kind of goes back to what we were talking about originally with your mission, but that is how you can create change
100%.
and so that's a really cool way to do it.
That's awesome.
And in California, like, cares a lot about that. Like, so far it's been nothing but like open arms and hugs. Like it's building the business here has been very inspiring and exciting. And your mission is very California.
It really is. It really is.
It's very LA, but that's what we love as well.
It's great.
And I like what you talked about as food as an experience because people always ask me about like dessert and like cake. And I mean, we talk very...
Fuck the cake cutting.
We talk very frequently about which we hate cake. I've now had clients, by the way, that are like... So I know like you hate cake cuttings. Like they feel like awkward. And
They're like defending themselves to you.
They're like, we really want to do it. And I'm like, oh no, yes,
You
do
can
it.
do it.
Yeah.
I just don't like them. Do what you want.
Zero
It's your
judgment.
wedding.
Please do it. I feel bad. I should not talk so much shit on cake cuttings apparently on this
We can do
podcast because it's been
whatever
a
we
thing.
want, Allie.
I know.
It is the amount of people that eat dessert is like half of the guests.
Yes. Okay. That's one of my tips is only get cake for like 60% of your guest
People
count.
are not trying to eat dessert. It's really
Dessert
interesting.
in general, but I always tell people that like a dessert experience is way more fun. Like get the churro cart or get the ice cream sandwich station or whatever. So I think that translates into the dining experience too. Like you said, family style, stations, something where the food is more than just like I'm shoving this chicken in my mouth so that I don't get so fucking hammered from cocktails. And it's like this is a part of this that I'm going to remember.
Yeah, it's a sense.
I don't think we're ever going to have a cake vendor on this podcast,
No.
unfortunately. I just don't see it.
Not sponsored by
They just come over and we're just like,
vendor.
fuck the cake cutting. Well, today I made a 3-layer.
No, I think you have to now.
Right.
You got it.
And does your company do like? Will you guys do desserts?
Yeah,
or
we do
depends
dessert.
on. Okay, because I
We
feel
do
like that's
full-
another thing that depends. Again, you're not comparing apples to apples.
We do full dessert and we do full bar now, thanks to Allie.
Partners.
Bottle
Yeah,
service.
like we cheers.
Yes.
Yeah. And some companies will offer that and some won't. Some will include staffing. So I know we've kind of touched on this, but I do think that that's like super important to drive home is that you are really looking at the whole
staffing
shebang.
charge is so important
And
to
how many
understand.
hours are that staff there for?
Yeah, like knowing your timeline. Like, give
Yes.
us an idea. There's a very big difference between us being on site 6 hours and 4 hours.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like understanding, do you want us to set up the dessert if it's not us doing it? Are you having coffee and tea?
Yes.
Are you using a
going.
compostable cup or are you renting the
Is
cup?
someone
Keep going,
pouring-
Barry.
Yeah,
More quick.
like,
Keep
it's
going.
just-
We're
Is
just
someone
listening. I'm
pouring-
just listening right
is
now.
there
I'm like,
water
wow.
and wine service at dinner?
Yes.
If are you doing a champagne toast? If so, do you have champagne glasses for the table?
Totally.
Like there
Yeah.
are.
Do you want your apps passed or stationed?
Yeah.
Like
is there salt and pepper on the tables?
all of these things. Yeah. It's like, it's
Fire
really,
them off. Let's go.
they're just like it's so different. And then like I think you have to understand what you're getting into.
Yeah.
And know what these companies are charging. And know, you can kind of tell if a company's way too busy. The other thing I cannot stress enough, because to us this is everything and everyone how we like keep getting more and more businesses, look at the reviews.
Yeah.
Like it's so important to read the reviews because like I think we want to be known for being approachable and having integrity and being clear about what you're going to get. And you'll see that in the reviews. Like the whole time I was talking to Kaiel, like she was really upfront with me and it's like, just look at the reviews and see, is that something you care about in your process?
Yeah.
Like another company might be, they were really fast. I didn't have to talk to them. I paid by credit. So like someone might want that. We're not going to
I
be
was gonna
fast.
say, and maybe that's what you
Want.
all you care
That
about.
might be no, we're not going to be fast.
Yeah.
We're going to take 7 to 10 days to come up with the proposal.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
going to, it's going to be a back and forth. You're going to have
yeah.
to email us. You're going to have to get on the phone. If you want to just like, these are the 3 app choices and you pick them. Like there's companies out there that do that really well.
Yeah. And there is a lot to be said for the initial communication as well. Like just as important as how they do on the day is like, are they answering your emails? Are they answering your questions? Are they talking like that may seem silly, but I think that's true with a lot of vendors. I cannot tell you the amount of clients that are like, we really love this caterer. Like their menu sounds great, blah, blah, blah. But we haven't gotten a response from them in 2 weeks. And like, I'm like, okay, then that's a no.
Yes.
Like immediately no.
Yeah,
Like,
they-
immediately
yeah.
no.
And that's for any vendor.
Yes,
any
exactly.
vendor.
Exactly.
I mean, I have been the case of someone reached out to me because a week and a half had gone by with the videographer that they originally wanted.
Yeah.
And they just didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
They booked me, and then I found out at the wedding, guess what? They reached out 2 days after they had booked me. And I'm like, well, sorry, like
And
that's
it's-
your loss
That's
for
your
not
loss.
reaching out to the couple that wanted your service. You know?
Totally.
So-
And we're business owners who need to
Yes,
be responsive and
100%.
figure out what those systems, and that's not on the couple.
Yeah, no, that's not on the couple. That's on the
back
vendor.
end.
Everyone needs
yeah.
to figure it out. But it's kind of like you were saying, and I noticed this a lot, like hot take of the industry of, these chefs are really talented. They're really amazing at what they do, but maybe like going out and getting the business or the emails or that shit is like not what they're good at. We see that a lot in weddings because it's a lot of artists, right? Photography, cake bakers, florists, whatever. They're fucking great at what they do. But if they can't get you the contract on time and their email is shit and they're like
They
whatever,
don't respond
then like
in 2 days.
then like honestly, it doesn't even fucking matter how they do on the day because you're gonna be so frustrated with that
Exactly.
vendor
Yeah.
leading up that you're gonna be like, fuck it, I just don't even care.
And we want to make the lives of like all of our vendors a lot easier. So we're like technically the client is contracting with us and the chef becomes our client.
Yeah.
Or they're our like
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I know what you
So
mean.
so there's like this extra added layer of a third party trust. And it's such a breath of fresh air to the chefs we work with. Like people get really like stagnant and stuck when they're like, oh my gosh, I have to develop a proposal. And I'll be like, hey, you can text me your menu. Like
Yeah.
we're putting it in our own proposal software.
yeah.
You don't need to deal with the design of it.
Yeah.
Also, we can help with pricing. Like
Yeah.
we can say, hey, I think it's pretty standard for 2 apps for like 2 mains and a side. And for this is the standard price per head.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the hard part of
Yeah.
business ownership.
Yeah.
That's what we all struggle with as small business owners
Yeah.
in the industry. But you do need to be good at that part too.
Definitely. Or
Communication.
find someone to help you if you're not.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
real.
Yeah, or find someone like you.
Yeah.
Okay, your one of your favorite event experiences and a nightmare story.
So many amazing favorites. I would say like the height of 2020 and then doing events in 2021 was just like epic in my brain to see joy and love be celebrated, especially with people who maybe pushed that back, who were still like, we're doing this. And then for me, you know, like I've always been beyond inspired by LA.
Yeah.
I've been in New Orleans and coming to visit LA and eating my heart out and just been like, wow, this city is like, has a story to tell.
Yeah.
And then our first couple in LA was October 2021, and they were Chinese American from Monterey Park, and they were really famous in the dance choreography community. Like they had done Justin Bieber's music videos.
Oh, sick.
And they actually Open Market, which is an amazing restaurant in Koreatown. These guys do it right if you're ever in K-Town. And they were like, hey, we're friends with these people from growing up. We know them, but like we don't want to execute this menu. We're really busy at our restaurant. How about we like design the menu and you find the chef and the team to execute it? So it was this really fun collaboration.
Yeah.
And David and Chanel were their names, and they just came out with like all of their bridesmaids and groomsmen like doing like crazy pro dances.
Yeah.
It was next level, and it was kind of this personal moment of like, I'm in LA. You know, like, and I was just like, and they had their grandma's late night Chinese food that we had a Mexican chef executing because his girlfriend's Vietnamese and he loves Asian food, and I was like, this is so cool. And we were so nervous because I was like, this is the big leagues. We're in LA. And I get there and the venue manager had ran a hotel in New Orleans and knew our company.
Oh shoot.
And I was like, we can do this. That was like a special, like it felt very
clicks.
LA. And like the couple was like amazing, and the guys who owned Open Market were guests at the wedding, and they were drunk and tasting Mesraim's food, and they were like, "Oh, he did our menu right," and I was like, "That was a good moment."
Yeah, the universe was all aligning.
The universe was all
aligning.
Nightmare moment. I would say the nightmare moment. This is a corporate event, though.
Okay,
so it's
that's
not
fine.
a
That's
wedding.
okay.
It's better keep it that way.
A big, yeah.
Like these assholes.
No, it was us. We've messed up.
Yeah.
It was all on us. You know,
Yeah.
we're all people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
We
yeah.
all fail, and that's usually how we learn and take our businesses
Yes.
to the next step. But whoever gets caught in the
crossfire.
crossfire of that, like, I'm sorry. It was a very big company.
Oh shoot.
That was a very exciting name brand.
Client.
Oh man.
And we hired this chef who seemed amazing, knew what he was doing. And we didn't ask him, how are you staffing a 300-person plated meal? I just was like, he seems cool. He's been in the industry. You know, you don't learn that, like, to ask that until it messes up, and then you always ask.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
God, there's so many things like that.
So it was one of those things, when it's 300 people, there's no saving it. It's like watching the nightmare happen.
no.
Like, there's no jumping back on the train. Like, you're watching the train crash.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, like, it's in motion.
Yeah.
The ship is sinking.
Yeah, I was like literally looking around, and like some of the staff were legitimately like taking like shots that they were bringing to people sitting down. They were taking those clients' shots. And then there was like, he ran out of steak with like only 50% of the people. And there were like very famous people in the crowd who were famous chefs I idolized.
Yeah.
And the woman who runs this huge company's events was hysterically crying.
Oh
And it was just like, and our head of production was our first event, like trying to not micromanage and being like, she's gonna run it. She got food poisoning.
Oh no.
And we didn't have a process in place for how information was relayed. So me and my partner Danielle were like, we had no information.
Oh no.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
To say the least.
A literal nightmare.
was
Like,
like-
that's like one of those things that you actually have nightmares about
Oh,
forever.
it was. Oh, yeah.
I still have waitressing nightmares, you
I
know,
just
where
started
you're like
sweating for you right
yeah,
now. That's
that
bad.
sounds awful.
Oh.
Thank God it was a 3-day conference.
Yeah.
We stayed up all night the first night. We had other chefs the rest of the night, and they impeccable.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
gonna say,
But it was.
like, is that a good thing that it was a 3-day conference?
They never.
Or a bad
They'll never work with us again. It's fine.
we may have lost that client.
It's fine.
Oh my God, the running out of food thing is the thing. We were just doing a wedding and the caterer ran out of food. There was like at least 40 people that hadn't been fed out of this like 150 person wedding. And so the late night snack
Uber
was
Eats.
supposed to be hot dogs for like later. So they just made like a fuck ton of hot dogs for these like 4 tables.
Yeah.
And I was
man.
like, I mean, it
You
fed
do what
them.
you need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it fed them, but like,
But still.
dude, that shit is like, that's what happens. And you have to hire people with experience and ask those
Totally.
types of questions because, I mean, this just happened a couple weeks ago and this was a caterer that is
shoot.
well known, you know, like.
And like be, you know, like see how people take care of those situations. Like,
Yeah.
is that caterer going to comp that bill?
That's true.
Or
That's
how
very
are they
true.
going to handle it? Like,
yeah.
mistakes happen. Not to say that's inexcusable and
Yeah.
shouldn't happen, but if it does, how are they handling
it?
that?
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I mean, our bar company is like, we thought we had enough Campari, but we ran out of this thing. But guess what? Like, we're going to Postmates more or what, we're going to figure it out.
Yeah. Are we ordering pizza and
Yeah.
eating it? How is... Or are we saying, oh, sorry, 40 of your guests didn't eat?
Yeah. They just ate hot dogs. It was fine. I mean, everybody loves a hot dog, but
That's bad.
it's bad. Yeah.
We don't ever want that to happen.
No, we don't ever want that to happen. We're never going to have anything bad ever happen.
Nothing ever happens. It's perfect. It's perfect.
I'm over here thinking, I'm like, wow, what if shit have I done? And I'm like, I really can't afford to mess up
Yeah.
because it's mostly video.
The video,
I just have to press record. Like, if I press record, there's been one instance where I double pressed record on accident, so I wasn't actually recording.
Record twice is not record, as it turns out. It was an on-off.
Luckily, it was like a super cool couple,
Yeah.
and it was a mother-son dance, but the mother-son dance was maybe like 15 seconds.
They were.
So that was the only part that you missed.
Yeah. No, well, like it was
were
only
fine.
15 seconds and they didn't really care to do it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
It was just
yeah,
kind of there.
So it was fine.
But either way, like I still felt really bad that
Yeah,
didn't
of
go.
course.
So like the reception happened. I was like, hey man, can you like just dance with your mom for like
For 1
5
second.
seconds?
Totally.
I was like,
Totally.
you're gonna want this in your raw footage, at least just a moment.
For a second.
But I did not
yeah,
get this, and I'm
yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
but I need something, please.
Or
God.
you're probably like, I need to not eat my vendor meal during the cake cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Oh my God.
But if I
don't
mess up,
even-
at least I'll know then and there.
Yeah,
if I
yeah,
messed
yeah,
up, and I'm
that's
like,
different.
okay, I need to do something else to like.
Yeah,
make up
you
for
have
it.
some recourse.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
with like coordination catering, there's things where you're just like, this is the moment, and
Yeah,
if we
like,
fucked
you
it
just
up, we
can't.
fucked it
Totally.
up.
Yeah, exactly.
And the coordinator, unfortunately, gets blamed for all of these things. That's
Yeah.
why it's so important that as a coordinator, you know your vendor list.
Oh my
Because
God.
it makes your life
It's
hell.
like,
if
it's like
things
you were
go
saying
wrong.
about the venue, like it all comes like, oh, the food sucked, even though the venue had nothing to do with the
Yeah,
food.
yeah,
yeah.
The coordinator takes all of that.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, this happened, and I'm like, I fucking didn't know.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it had nothing to do with that, but it
100%.
all falls
Yeah,
on
yeah,
us.
yeah.
So yeah, we're used to that.
Well,
too.
we try to do our best when we have a vendor that has referred us of not fucking up.
I
basically.
know.
Yeah.
But like you said, we
'Cause
are
I'm
all
like-
humans.
yeah.
And like, if you schedule your fucking consultation call for 3 p.m., your kids are going to be in the background. Your boyfriend's going to be naked, walking around naked at the tasting. Maybe not naked.
Boxers. There
Maybe
we go.
not naked,
All right.
but we are all humans. And actually, I do like to remind people of that sometimes too, because there's this like insane pressure on weddings
Yeah.
and vendors
Yeah.
and
And
everything
that's why the
involved.
tasting at the end of the day is like, are we clicking? And do you
Yeah.
like resonate with this food?
Yeah.
Like at that point, it's more just a like gut check. You've already kind of decided you're gonna bring these people on. I think.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
you're doing.
And I will say, like, I know that we are professionals in our perspective, like vendor groups and stuff. But I think too, for the listeners, they have their own jobs, and I'm pretty sure you have fucked up on your job
Yeah.
at least once.
Yeah.
And your boss is like, "Yo, you fucked up," and you're like, "Yeah, my bad."
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
Have just
A little bit of grace.
a little pocket of grace.
A little,
you know?
a little bit of
100%.
grace.
Just throw it out there for some of the vendors because it's a
That's
live
true.
event.
Yeah.
Mistakes will happen.
But it's very high pressure.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. Obviously we do this for a living and it's our full-time jobs.
100%.
But
We're going way too
hey,
deep onto like,
just like-
shit that I'm like,
We're
my
sorry.
worst-
I know, right?
We're sorry.
the one time I fucked up the most
Right,
was
We're sorry.
Man, just be a really cool couple. You know, just like have a little grace on us every now
no,
and
it's
then.
true.
But
It's true.
yeah, it
and
is.
there are
We-
people who realize that this
and
is like
that'll
real
go
life.
a long way.
And I
too.
think
Yeah,
on
yeah.
us as vendors, like we've gotten pretty good at like I can tell pretty early on if I'm looking at notes like that couple might not be right for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's okay
Yeah,
to
yeah,
say
yeah.
no to a couple to save them some pain of like trying to fit a square in a circle, whatever that saying is.
A square peg in a round
Yeah,
hole.
yeah.
There we go.
That is a lesson I'm still learning after a decade in this business of like,
Yeah.
it's hard as small business owners. We want to take on everything and
Yeah.
it's hard to say no. We want to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
people
yeah.
happy, but like, it's not always the best fit. And for couples out there, like when you're shopping, like it's not always, but there's so many talented, amazing vendors. Like find someone who vibes with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. Well, we're so happy to have you.
Yeah.
So where
Thank you so
can
much for
people
coming.
find you on social and the World Wide Web?
At My House Events.
Okay.
We're on Instagram. We have like a beautiful
Look at that
website.
camera right there.
Oh, hey.
Right there. Yes.
Oh, I keep
You
forgetting
tell-
about this.
Yeah. Tell them.
At My House Events. We're on all the socials, Instagram, Pinterest. We have sample menus for Los Angeles and the surrounding areas on the website, myhouseevents.com. We work at a lot of great venues. We're really excited about this one venue that we're starting to work a ton at called the Oviat in downtown LA, which is an old penthouse taken over by new management. And it's amazing with the rooftop deck and like Art Deco vibes. And just like really excited about all the amazing chefs that can make this all possible. So check us out. And if you like care a lot about food and telling a story, we're here.
Yay.
We love weddings. They're so fun.
Yes.
They are so fun.
Yes.
After we just like talk shit on like,
I know.
but really they're so fun.
They are. They really
I
are.
just like to like no matter what, I will cry at your wedding.
Aw.
Like I'll be the catering team, like letting
In the
everyone deal with
background
the
corner.
apps, and I'm like watching the ceremony crying.
I love
Yeah,
it.
I
No,
think
it's such a special gig that we get to do. And I
Yeah.
think we all feel very grateful for that.
It is. There's nothing better than like bringing like the people getting married their plate of food and seeing them take that bite and being like, well, I've worked with you on this whole process and you're here now.
I love it. That's so awesome. Well, thank you so much, Barrie. We appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Thanks, Barrie. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Goodbye, everybody, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Peace.